Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Brand New Me Journey. I am your host, Shate Thompson, the founder of Brand New Me, licensed mental health counselor, and your restoration expert. I am super excited today to have LaShonda Debrew because she is a financial expert and we want to get to a place where we are financially free and financially independent. So I brought her on today to be able to talk a little bit to us. Just a quick recap. Brand New Me Journey is really all about helping women, helping individuals to rediscover and redefine themselves after they have experienced a significant breakup. And we have many different stages to this. It could be the beginning, the middle, the lifelong, but we're all moving towards growth. So I've brought together different experts to come and talk to us and help us on this journey to being our brand new selves. So welcome, LaShonda. How are you today?
Fine, and you, and thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for agreeing to come on. I want you to be able to tell everyone a little bit about yourself. So can you tell us, why are you into this field and who do you specialize with working with?
I am into this field basically because I have a mission. I'm on a mission to empower women to take
Mm-hmm.
control of their finances, and as well as create their own economy.
Nice.
So I support business owners and individuals in basically navigating their financial journey, rather that's through debt destruction, through
Mm-hmm.
um, navigating their journey of building wealth, um,
Mm-hmm.
monetizing their skill set, creating additional wealth streams, just the gamut of all of that. In
Nice.
addition to that, I help business owners basically establish and implement processes and tax strategy, and be proactive instead of reactive at the end of the year.
I
So
like that.
that includes, of course, staying in compliance tax-wise, helping them with cash flow management.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the individual side, again, helping them with tax strategy, tax compliance, tax issues, and also basically with just general financial skills.
Okay. All right. So that means that you're going to have tons of nuggets for us today to help us financially to make sound decisions moving forward and giving us some great tips to know which avenues to go once we're seeing that we're having to start over
Right.
or we're wanting to
My
start
background and
things
my
in some type of
experience.
way.
Yes. Hopefully
Great.
from that I'll have something to share with you all.
Beautiful. So let's just get right into it. My first question for you is, how do we bounce back financially after a divorce or a significant breakup?
For most, well, that'll depend on, of course, where you are starting from.
Hmm.
You have some that may have been hands-on during the time that they were married, so therefore they're familiar
Right.
with how to handle their finances. They know their numbers, they know where they are, but now, you're just going from maybe a dual income household to
Hmm.
one, and or if it was one income, you still just might now be moving out on
Hmm.
your own, where now the your total amount, the annual amount of your income or whatever has changed, whatever that
Right.
looks like. And if so, at this point now, you're just starting from ground one, or from ground zero, just
Hmm.
basically saying now, okay, where am I? Looking at the gap, where
Okay.
am I now, and where am I looking to go?
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, that's going back to basic budget skills, your budget
Okay.
skills, and just building from there. What's your household? What is it going to take care of me, to sustain me from where I am now, and not, being overwhelmed or stressed out about it. It's going to be natural for you
Hmm.
to be in overwhelm and stress, but just knowing that you can begin again,
Definitely.
financially, it's just a matter of you now just getting back to the basics with that, and just, knowing your numbers and just being comfortable with where
Yes.
you are, and then moving forward from there.
Okay, so I love that you mentioned that it's a possibility and most likely there's going to be some overwhelm, right? Because that's just natural. We are going to feel some type of anxiety about this entire process of starting over. But you mentioned it's really getting back to the basic budgeting. Um, I know when I was in school many years ago, I feel old, many years ago, we actually worked with the checkbook and we learned how to balance a checkbook and how to look at money management and make wise choices. That's not really happening these days in school. But
Right.
basically, from what I'm hearing you say is we need to look at the money, look at what's coming in, look at what's going out. And once we do that, we're able to make some wise decisions to see what we need to either eliminate or what we can actually
Mhm.
start to put aside to save and how it's really going to work in our favor with our new lives.
Right. And I spoke, of course, to ones that may have already been comfortable with it and
Mm-hmm.
basically was knowledgeable about the finances. But then, of course, we also have the ones that were not involved in it at all. They're not
Right.
handling it. And because of the dynamics of the relationship or whatever, of course, there was probably some safety in the husband or the partner handling everything. So you did not
Mm-hmm.
have to worry about that and did not have that to be bothered with. But now coming out of it, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, man, you looking around like, oh my God. I mean, I didn't know what this was, that was. I did not know that we owed this amount, that amount, or whatever.
Right.
And you may have maybe coming out of a situation where you are left with nothing and you really having to start over.
Mm-hmm.
The whole 360, starting over financially,
Exactly.
with you managing it, starting over with you becoming familiar with, all of the different nuances of what it is that you have to do,
Mm-hmm.
take care of yourself and build on to that or whatever. So again, it's still going back and getting going back to the basics. You knowing that you are worthy of it and you are able to do it and take care of yourself or whatever. But now you just jumping in there feet first and just like, getting down to the basics.
Yes, very true. And during these times, it's great to have those support systems because the same way that our support systems are going to get us through emotionally, it's also going to help us to make sense of our lives financially.
Right.
Not that they're giving us loans, but they're helping us to be cognizant of things that we might have never thought about,
Right.
right?
Right.
So it's great to have people in our corner that we feel comfortable sharing what our financial situation is.
Right. And
Once
not being
again,
afraid and nervous to dive in because,
mhm,
I mean, we know it's a lot. But the thing is, it's just taking it one day at a time
definitely.
and just taking it one step at a time, and just looking at your situation, opening those envelopes, getting through the stacks of paper or whatever, and then basically finding out once again where you are, what it looks like on paper, your spreadsheet or whatever, what that looks like, and then
Hmm.
now, okay, where is it that I'm trying to go? What are my financial goals or whatever? And then you just knocking it out one step at a time,
So step at a time, step by step.
step by step.
Good deal. So what about for those individuals? I have a lot of clients that come to me that they have absolutely no money, none whatsoever, because either they're leaving the relationship with no money because their partner didn't want to give them anything, or because they were so clueless and weren't educated on where everything was going financially that now they are having to start over with everything. So, for
Mm.
those individuals, what are some tips to them that have to actually start over with absolutely nothing? What do they need to do?
I mean, well, obviously you're going to be working for someone or you're going to be working for yourself. I mean, so
Okay.
first of all, let's first get a job.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out what is it now that you're going to do to monetize whatever it is that you have in your hands to get money. If you're
Mm-hmm.
starting out with nothing, basically those are the options. You're going to get a job and or work for yourself, or you're going to get a job or work for yourself.
Right.
Um, And of course, until your basic finances are taken care of, means whatever the household needs are, and then the needs if you have children or someone depending on you, until that's in place and taken care of, you're really not going to be able to focus on anything else.
Mm.
So mainly the first thing is just to first get your household together
Mm-hmm.
and figure out what is it that you need, just from basic needs
Mm-hmm.
to take care of you and your household. What is the total amount that you need to pay your rent? You need to pay utilities, and groceries or whatever it is for that. If you have a car or you need a car or whatever, what
Mm-hmm.
is it's going to take me to basically get back on my feet and to start out now, with getting the foundation in place.
Yeah.
Now move to the next thing.
Great
Um,
point.
and
Yeah, that's really what I share with my clients all the time. It's about, all right, so where do we go from here, right? So I love that I'm getting them in the right direction. Where, okay, now you need to downsize if need be, and then make some financial decisions as far as where you want to work. Think about what you were good at a long time ago that you might want to get into that if you haven't had a job in a while. Or think about your hobbies and your passion to see if that's something that you want to do, or any experience that you do have that you can get into a position like that. So it's very important to start bringing in some type of income. And once you
a
bring in
lot
some
they're
type
dealing
of
mentally
income,
with changing or lowering whatever their standard of living was
mm-hmm,
the most. So first mentally, it's just making that shift from, okay, I'm not going to be able to, for a minute, to do all the other things or do all
right,
that I was doing. Now I need to come back and do this or do that or whatever. So, it's like, I mean, of course, naturally, I know they progress and go through stages and phases
mm-hmm,
of coming into the whole brand new me or the new me.
yeah,
Um, and a part of that with finances is realizing, okay, I'm not working with what I was working with then or whatever. Um, and for some, they may not have even been in that state. They may have been in a state still of struggling
mm-hmm,
for however long, before they came out of the relationship, depending on what was going on or the circumstances.
exactly,
But it's just knowing that, you don't have to be in a struggle. Like,
mm-hmm.
not a struggle. Now you just coming into your own, and now I just need to take that step, and get the basic things in place.
Yes. What I love that you just said is it doesn't last always, right? Like that song, Trouble Don't Last Always, right? So
Oh,
if we have that mindset that we know that, all right, this is for the moment. I'm gonna downsize for now. I'm gonna grow myself. I'm gonna get out of this struggle or whatever it is that's happening, that I'm ready for more. So let me take the steps necessary to get there little by little to where I'm ultimately finally where I really want to be. But
right,
having patience with self, because many times we can be so hard on ourselves because of where we expect ourselves to be already,
right,
or because we're having some type of shame because of what we've experienced. So it's about getting out of that and refocusing ourselves
right,
to
right,
where we're working towards.
right. And that's a lot of it. Yeah, that shame, the guilt, the self guilt,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, the unworthiness and all of that. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of that would keep us down and hold us down longer
Exactly.
than necessary, because mentally, again, we just stuck in that headspace. So once you
Mm-hmm.
just, really just shift out of that, and it's like, okay, like, it's like, woe me, but woe it is you. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
is you. So, but it's going to take you now to start making the changes and to get up and get out. If not, you're going to stay stuck like
Exactly.
where you are in that place. Yes.
So, I mean, from what we're sharing now, a lot of it has to do with mindset. A
Mhm.
lot of it has to do with having that growth mindset of where we want to be and being committed to not being stuck
Right.
where we are or where we were. And
Right.
when we're able to do that, we can even develop some affirmations for ourselves,
Hmm.
affirmations that can speak life into where we're working towards. So now this is what we become as well.
Right. Right. You know, when we talk about divorce, I mean, although personally I've never gone through it, I grew up in a household where my
Mm-hmm.
was divorced, or she had gotten a divorce. So I know what it looks like to be, to be a single female, um, having or needing to, having to take control, or
Mm-hmm.
basically take care of a household.
Right.
And I was a child of a single parent, so I saw that, which is, really where my whole thing came from, about having my own and being able to
Mm-hmm.
pain, sustain, and take care of myself or whatever, so that if something would happen, that it still wouldn't change
Right.
whatever the vision, the financial vision and goals, that I had for myself. It wouldn't change
Mm-hmm.
for me. So it's like, oh, okay, this happened, but now, okay, I can still stay on the road to whatever it is I was working towards. And even if it throws me off a little bit, it's like, okay, but I'm comfortable with me making money, and
Mm-hmm.
I know how to monetize my skill set, and I know what it is I have to do. So, although again, I was not, directly, involved in divorce or whatever, it's like I understand what it is for the female
Right.
to have to make that shift. So again, that's where the whole empowerment and my mission comes from, for helping them. And
Beautiful.
my mother was a hustler by nature. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she was a candy lady. She sold Tupperware. She baked. So I saw that. So for me, it may have been innate, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like, again, it's just still, letting the women know we can do this. You can do this. I mean, we are very strong. Like,
Yeah.
so.
And I love that because you said that your mother was a hustler. So it's like we can use our hobbies and our passions, and we can monetize these things. We can
But
think outside the box and make these things happen. So what is it that what skill set do we have that we can actually start to use to be able to make some type of money?
you and me.
It could be on the side and then it grows to something more, but it's possible.
Yeah. You just froze a little bit, but I mean, I got the gist of it, I think. But yeah, it's like, but now hustling with a purpose, because
Mm-hmm.
we all know what it is just about to hustle.
Yes.
Almost like we've been used to hustling, but now it's coming out of that mindset of just hustling to be hustling, but then you are hustling for a purpose
For a
now.
purpose.
Hmm.
Beautiful. All right. So, what about individuals that are further along on this journey and now they want to invest? How can someone gain financial independence? What does it look like? The starting point, starting small for investments. What are some tips for that?
Well, one, of course, you need to always be paying yourself first. And for those that are further along, if you are saving, continue to save. Continue to, if you have a 401 or a retirement plan, 401 or
Mm-hmm.
retirement plan, always participate in that plan. You want to, for most, they'll match what you put in. You
Mm-hmm.
have to put in a certain percentage in order for them to start matching it. So you want to grow until you get up to where they are matching it, if you're not doing that already.
Okay.
Um, to also to protect yourselves and to grow your money faster, you
Mm-hmm.
want to participate in those investments that are paying you with the compound interest and not just simple
Okay.
interest. For a lot of us, we're saving bank accounts, or you have your savings accounts. They'll be in just regular bank accounts, bank savings accounts, but those always pay the simple interest.
Mm.
The life insurance and other vehicles, they will do compound interest.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the simple and the compound just means that with simple interest, you're only earning on your deposits or whatever the
Yeah.
initial investments are. With compound, you're earning on those investments and deposits, and along with the interest.
Mm.
So it's going to grow a lot quicker.
Okay.
That. But just make sure you are maxing out whatever it is that you're able to do, and that you are not exhausting and spending 100% of your income, but that you are including savings and saving for retirement and all of that in your plan as well.
Okay.
with that. And of course, it goes on to mutual funds, and then, some would get involved in real estate and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But you just want to become a lot more aware and educated and knowledgeable about what the different investments are that's out there, in the vehicles that are out there
Mm-hmm.
for you. And depending on the excess that you have to invest in it, that will determine which ones that you will participate in. But just making sure that you're including that in your overall plan.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That was super helpful. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, so now we all have different stages on our brand new me journey. There's the beginning, which are those individuals that recently experienced a breakup, and they're trying to make sense of their world. Okay, there's the middle stage where we've been through it for a bit now. We've started to start over. We're not feeling as stuck, but we're not where we want to be yet. Okay, and then the lifelong journey is where we're always learning and we're always open to growing. So we're finding different ways to do so. So, what are some tips that you can give each of these stages to be able to get to a place of financial freedom or financial independence?
Well, of course, a lot of what we've already discussed, with making sure that your foundation is taken care of, for all at each of the different stages. You want to make sure foundationally that you have that in place, as far as what your budget plan is, that you are managing your money. And I know a lot of us we don't like to hear the word budget, with our money or whatever, because it sounds like you are restricting,
Mm-hmm.
or we're restricting ourselves. But basically, budgeting is just money management,
Okay.
and I also refer to that as your spending plan or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to know all of what's coming in and what will be going out, and
Mm-hmm.
keeping up with that monthly um, is a better way to track it, in order for you to be able to meet your goals and stay on track with that, and know basically where you are. Um, so with that, I think my went back out. Okay. So with that is basically saying, being able to stay on track. So with those at the beginning stages, start saving earlier. You know,
Mm.
start saving sooner than later. Even though they're young, you say beginning, middle, and lifelong, but I think of that as like with the age ranges, when you're like in your 20 to 30s, then 30s to 40s, and then of course with the lifelong ones, you're getting into now thinking about retirement age. So
Mm-hmm.
those that are in the beginning stages, the 20s and 30s, that's where you are making probably the most money that you're going to be making in your life or whatever. But that's also the time, of course, when we're having children and when you're buying houses, buying cars, and all of that. That's all well and fine, but start saving. Like now, make sure you're saving first of
Mm-hmm.
all with that. And I mean, a lot of times they'll say, "Well, I can't afford to save, or I don't have anything," because yes, everything is going out,
Right.
into the liabilities or whatever, or things that cannot pay you back.
Mm-hmm.
That again, that needs to be a line item in your budget, and everybody's budget, to go ahead
Mm-hmm.
and save, pay yourself first, and also invest in your retirement for the beginner. Start saving earlier, because again, we don't think about retirement when we're younger, or you
Mm-hmm.
think you have time. You think about it, you hear about it, but we also think that we have time, and then you live in life or whatever. Then you find yourself in your 40s quickly,
Mm-hmm.
45, whatever. And then now it's like, oh, okay, like how many more years? Now you start thinking about how many more years you're
Right.
going to be working,
Yeah.
or, you
Now, the
know,
weird thing with this is the beginning stages, most of the time, these individuals are already in their 30s because now that they've lived, they've been married, they've been in relationships for long periods of time.
okay.
And then now they're in their mid to late 30s and now they're having to start over. So it's
Okay.
not that they might have all the money or everything where they're starting new
Mhm.
jobs, but now it's where they just feel like, oh my goodness, I have to make sense of my life financially. So I
Okay.
love what you're saying is still pay yourself first, still add everything to that line budget, or money management of what's going
And
out.
not where you are. Yeah. I mean, because some think, if they don't have 100 or 200 or whatever to put away or to put away monthly, that now I can't do it. No, whatever you have, the thing is just to make a habit of doing it.
Okay.
And when you
Good
get
point.
extra money or additional money, now it's not just free money, or it doesn't, you don't already have somewhere for it to go. I mean, my one of the phrases that I always use as well is tell your money where to go, or it will tell you where to go. So
Say that again.
tell your money where to go, or it will tell you where to go, or you can't
Mm.
go,
Mm-hmm.
basically. But, so it's just making sure that you have, when your money is coming in and you set your cash flow plan, every line item should take up 100% of whatever the income is for the month. Like, there should be a line item for all of your money, or,
Yeah.
that's going to expend all of that, to include the savings, your tithing or whatever, your emergency money and all of that, along with the household. With the middle, I guess when you're dealing with the middle the ones that are in the middle phase, then again, now you're looking at maintaining, as well as now you might be shifting and pivoting to now, because now you definitely know what it is. You have some experience under your belt. You may be in the stage where you have the teenagers to maybe young adults now. So you're definitely shifting out of, okay, beyond maybe college years and some things, or you might be still in the college years, but obviously you're going to still be continuing to save. You're probably paying down debt now, paying it off. So you want to look at that, because of course, going now in, when you're in the middle phase, going into lifelong, you probably have accrued or, have some debt, but now you know what it is to carry that. So sure, it's like now, okay, I just want to be paying that off and getting done with it.
Yeah.
No longer want to be buying cars just to be buying cars or whatever, because then they've done that. I don't need a new one. You don't have to have a new one. Get one 3 years or older, whatever, and get it where you can pay for it. When you go and purchase it and leave off the lot. So now as well, you're not paying that and paying additional interest.
Right.
On that. The lifelong ones, now you're talking about, for sure, you're looking retirement in the face, even if you're not ready to retire, because for most of us, we're not going to stop, doing what we're doing, especially if we're operating in our passion and purpose and our gifts. It's like we're going to be working and moving about and doing whatever anyway. But now for sure, you're focusing on, or should be focusing on, building up that nest egg, your retirement account, and your savings, so that you're able to have the freedom that we talk about in living free financially, with that. And now you're not going to be stressed out now, because now you're realizing that you are aging, or we're getting older. Like, I don't want to have to work for the rest of my life. I want it to be a choice or an option. I don't want to have to. So now you definitely want to be focusing on your savings and building up that money and your passive income and all of that, so that if you want to say bye, if you want to stop working, you want to take off or whatever, then it's like, I don't have to worry about that. I can sit back or take off and take some time off and do whatever it is I want to do.
Very true. Great things to think about. Oh my. Okay, thank you. Now, what would you say is one of the most important things that you have learned on your journey?
I guess learning that there will be times when you will have to go back to the basics and begin again, and looking at it again. But if you have learned if you've done it before, you can do it again.
Yes.
You don't have to be stuck or in a rut. And even if you are stuck or in a rut, knowing, or that, okay, I did it before, I can do it again.
Exactly.
And then once you have learned the basic concepts and all of that, so if you have to, with most people, like you said, especially with your audience of the brand new me, then now you might be going back into incurring a little debt or something like that or whatever, but don't worry about it, because again, to begin again and for you to start new, there may be some things that you have to do and acquire, you know, in order for you to get up and out and to start
Right.
moving. But mindset wise, though, if you just keep focused on what your plan is, and if you are doing it with a purpose, you know, and you are aware of it, you know, so if you have to use credit or whatever it is, you know, use it as much as you can interest free. So, you know, you
Mm-hmm.
carry something for 6 months or whatever, but paying it off before the interest start accruing or whatever it is. But again, if you have your cash flow plan or your spending plan going, then you already have a plan for that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Where the money that's coming in is going to go. So just know that you can do it. So for me, it was just learning that as I was doing the things with purchasing real estate and
Mm-hmm.
my purchasing my business and my franchise and all of that. Um, all of that was new to me, and there were some things that I had to learn in that process, things I lost in that process. But it's like we can't hang there and stop there
Right.
because you did grow, and I grew in that process. So, and then, but even with me, you know, yeah, I was down and I was like, okay, woe is me or whatever, because it had never happened to me before.
Mm-hmm.
Know? And you thinking that I've worked so hard for this or whatever, and I don't want to go back and start all over again, you know, and have to do this and that or whatever. But it's like, okay, but now you know what to do because you've done
Mm-hmm.
it before, you know, and you did win when you did it.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can win again. I mean,
Exactly.
you know, you can just go back and just do something all over again.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Thank you. Thank you. How can the good people find you?
They can find me. My website is at LaShondaDebrew.com. I am on Facebook as Your Virtual CFO. And I think on Instagram as well, Your Virtual CFO. So that was all LaShonda Debrew.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, everyone. So there you have it. So we have some steps and some tips and some great first steps to be able to start this journey to the financial freedom and financial independence. So I really want to thank LaShonda for coming on. Go and follow her on Facebook, on Instagram. Get to know her a bit and see how she might be able to assist you on your journey as well. I am Shante Thompson again, and I have individual coaching and group coaching available. If you haven't purchased the book Brand New Me, Complimented, Completed, and Whole, I actually hold your hand through the process of growing to have healthy relationships with yourself and with others. So if you haven't gotten on my calendar yet for me to be able to help you with this process, don't wait now. Let's get to a place where we are growing to be our brand new selves. Look forward to speaking to you again. You can follow us in our Brand New Me Journey Facebook community or on Instagram at Shante Thompson or Brand New Me Journey. I look forward to connecting again soon. Be authentically you.